Ozonic Killerwinds podcast back again. We got Nuke. We got me.
Let's do this, huh?
Let's get into it. You know what? We're not going to waste any time. We got big news. I say we loosely, but it is kind of a we thing. Feels like a we thing. Nick, take it away.
It is a big time we thing.
Hold on a second. Let me get a drum roll.
Shot my first buck in Iowa.
Hey!
Yep.
Woo! You shot a buck in Iowa.
Yep, we got one down, boys.
Holy guacamole.
It was awesome. Team effort for sure.
I had two goals at the beginning of the season. Get Jet a buck and get you a buck.
Mm-hmm.
And the you getting a buck part, we had to really kind of clarify because you were getting to the point where you were like, I'm going to shoot a buck. And I'm like, no. We had to put parameters because I said all along, I don't want you to just shoot a dinker.
Yeah.
I want you to shoot a respectable one.
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely did that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was cool. And we'll get into the story a little bit. But before we go, I mean, it really was a big time team effort, just the way that it all played out. I don't even think I would have been in this situation if it wasn't for Cole. he pushed me pretty hard, but we'll get into that. But yeah, it was.
Well, before we start, I think one of the things, kind of as we go through all of this today, and we talk about how this all played out, I think what happened this weekend is a really good example of what you need to be doing right now.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're hunting and you haven't filled your buck tag yet, and you're hunting right now, starting to get towards like the November in the teens, with the way the rut has played out thus far, I think the number one strategy is get your butt in the seat.
Yeah.
You got to put in the time.
Yeah, you have to.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's getting to the point right now where we're definitely through the pre-rut.
Oh,
we're done. We're through this chase phase, seek phase, all that rigmarole. It is full on does getting bred.
Yes.
Does coming into estrus.
Yeah.
We are in that window.
Yeah.
And so when it really comes down to it, I don't care the temperature. I don't care the wind. I don't care the moon phase. I don't care if it's raining, if it's snowing. I don't care.
Yeah.
If it's legal shooting times, be in the woods.
Yeah.
Find yourself in a tree stand, in a ground blind, in an elevated blind, whatever you're doing, get in the woods.
Yeah.
And this weekend was the perfect example of that.
It really was.
No built-in excuses. Get in the woods.
Yeah.
And 100% how this hunt played out was a direct reflection of that.
Yeah. No doubt.
100%.
No doubt.
I'm serious. And it really comes down to that because we're in this peak breeding right now, it can feel very feast or famine. It felt like that this weekend.
It really did.
I was out this morning and it felt like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 18 degrees, 8 to 10 mile an hour wind out of the northwest, clear sky. I'm going to sneak out for an hour before work, right?
Yeah.
And it was famine for me, but it can flip just that quick.
Yeah.
The reality is that the does are being bred and they're either on top of you or you feel like you're just watching squirrels.
Yeah.
But when they are on top of you, you better get ready. They may just be around the corner. They may just be around the bend of the field. But when a doe works through that's in heat, you're not going to see one buck. You're going to see 4 bucks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And all of a sudden, it just turns into this pandemonium. And so you just have to get in the woods.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story of this entire podcast. And I think the way that this all played out was 100% that. We just said, no matter what, we're doing an all-day sit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because it's where I start when I want you to tell a story. I'm just keep interrupting you.
You're fine.
It's funny because this all started for me with, Nick's trying to, Nick has you have a tough thing, right? In the fact that I always joke about if you love to hunt, don't be a taxidermist, don't be a conservation officer, don't work in any type of hunting industry, hunting retail job.
Yeah.
Because guess what? And now also I think don't be a content creator, producer type person, right?
Yeah.
Because guess what? Your busiest time of year is this 3 to 4 week window of mid-October through mid-November.
Yeah, we're in it right now.
You're in the peak of your busiest time of year.
Yeah.
But you also have to juggle trying to also find time for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you've earned PTO, you've earned paid time off. So you're trying to juggle, okay, when do I find time to get out?
Mm-hmm.
And so you've taken some Fridays and some Thursday, Fridays, you got some stuff scheduled out. You're like, okay, this is where I'm going to try to find my little window of opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's a small window.
Very small window.
Yeah. And so you were super stoked last week to have last Friday off.
Mm-hmm.
But then you come to find out on Thursday afternoon, your cousin Benny shoots an ice buck.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, and just in Nick Simon fashion, your plans completely go out the window. You run into my office. I'm driving home tonight. I'm like, well, you need to be sitting in a tree stand tomorrow morning. You're like, I don't care about that. Benny shot a buck. I want to be there. And I'm like, no problem. I'm like, I get it. So all of a sudden I'm like, well, there goes your PTO day. You know what I mean? Like, so you drive home, you recover it. You take a bunch of awesome pictures of Benny. We can put them up right here.
Mm-hmm.
Ching, ching, ching. And so Benny shoots this awesome deer. But then all of a sudden you miss, you know what I mean? So now we're looking at like Saturday,
Yeah.
and we're looking at the weather. And I think everybody across the Midwest was like, oh, baby, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Because depending on where you were going to be, it was going to be snow, or maybe it was going to be rain. Maybe you were going to miss the snow and the rain. It was just going to be really cold weather.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to be that windy. I was like, man. And I said to you right off the bat, I said, dude, I don't care. I don't care what's going on. I am sitting all day.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting all day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that presents a whole different set of challenges from me to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I've done a lot of all day sits over the years. You haven't.
That was my first one.
Yeah. Your first one.
Very
and so
first one.
like you were asking a lot of questions like, well, like, what do you eat? Like, what do you bring? And like,
well, and the reason I was asking that so much too is like, I got to keep everything level with the diabetes. And it's like, I was really worried about that. And I'm like,
and that's what I'm getting at, because you and I are in such different boats. Because
Yeah.
I was like, you heard me, I was like, I don't know. I bring like
an apple and a beef stick.
bring an apple, a piece of beef jerky, and maybe a Dr. Pepper. And like, that just gets me through all day.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And so, so you were really stressing about what do I got to bring for food? How am I going to keep myself from going low?
Yeah.
And I think you were also just, your worriness kind of sets in, and you're just like, the unknown of what's this going to be like, and how long of a day is it going to be? And
I just did not want to have anything diabetes related make me leave the stand. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, no, Colt really helped a lot, give me good advice and stuff like that. But it was a good day.
So
It turned out good.
we get out there.
Well, I think we should go back to Friday. So I stayed in Wisconsin till Friday morning.
Yep.
Took pictures Friday morning, and then ran back. And we did get to the stand Friday night, but we got in kind of late. And
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this part.
yeah, and right away, Cole, I'm not even to my stand yet. I took the bike down, and I'm like at the base of the train, ready to climb up. Cole calls me. He's like, dude, I think I just bumped Skinny Pete. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. And then come to figure out too, he was in there like an hour before we were there. I'm like, oh man, I won't.
Well, dude, it wasn't even an hour before.
Yeah.
He was in there 20 minutes before.
Yeah.
We parked the truck.
Yeah.
And, we live in the day and age of cell cams. So what do we all do? Right before you walk away from the truck, you just do a quick check.
Yeah.
Well, we were just like, in a hurry,
Yeah.
getting out there late, trying to squeeze in an afternoon, like toward the end of the day. And so we're like, we just grab all of our gear and off we go. Well, I'm walking. You were going to hunt the river because it was a northwest wind.
Yep.
Yes, northwest wind. And you can get away with that on the river.
Yeah.
And I was going to hunt the co-op. The idea, like we've talked about all along, is put you in the best spot, put me in a different spot where I can kind of see a different side of things, and just maybe something happens.
Yeah.
So you take your bike like the long way,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna walk kind of in a totally different direction. Well, as I'm walking in, I hear a deer down in this little thick right by me. I'm like, oh crap, and I'm creeping along trying to get there, and then I come around the corner, and sure enough, what I heard comes up through the top, and it was 100% Skinny Pete.
Mm-hmm.
And so instantly I'm kind of stopping and trying to let him just do his thing. And he kind of like galloped off, and then, got to where I couldn't see him anymore. And that was that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm still going to go to where I'm going.
Yeah.
But I instantly get up my phone. Well, here, come find out. He was just at Thermal Hub.
Yeah.
Well, the co-op where I was walking in was between Thermal Hub and Co-op.
Yeah.
So he had to have walked just in front of me.
Yeah.
I mean, if we would have been seriously probably 10 minutes sooner, I probably would have seen him, or we would have really ran right into each other.
Yep.
I mean, it was right there.
Yep.
And so I called you once I get in. I was like, hey, and of course you're like, dang, like I wish we would have checked him. And we just didn't check the cams. I was like, well,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So it feels like Skinny Pete has been around.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen Skinny Pete. It would have been the Wednesday before
Yep.
in the co-op stand in the afternoon.
Yeah.
No, in the morning.
In the morning.
And that real foggy day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a north wind, which you can get away with on the co-op. Real foggy day. Fog started to lift. This is before the time change, so it was like 8:30, and then all of a sudden, and I had rattled right when the fog lifted. About 45 minutes later, here walks in Skinny Pete, and he read the script, walked right by, came by 10 yards, walked right by the camera, and off he went. And like I said, he got out and got downwind, and he stopped, lifting his nose real hard. We had talked about this.
Yeah.
And so seeing him then, and we've been seeing him on camera, and then seeing him on Friday, I was like, okay, this is where he wants to cruise through.
Yeah.
This is his little,
That's his area.
this is his little core area.
Yeah.
Like he's in here. You know what I mean? And so we hunted Friday, and I saw a little Bascarac 8 like right at dark.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, well, before that, I saw that little small one just as I got up in the stand that was probably with Skinny Pete.
Yeah.
And just cruised back through trying to figure out what was going on, trying to figure out where he went.
Yeah.
And then just lollygagged off, and you saw him come through the field.
Yep.
From a ways off. And then right at dark, you got right into him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was getting to the end of the day, and I hadn't really seen anything. I ended up seeing the small buck that Cole saw. He kind of cut through the tongue and just worked off. And then another small buck did pretty much the exact same thing. And then it was a very long time until I saw another deer, but had a doe and a button buck come in, and I was able to shoot the button buck, so got that tag filled. That was really good.
Yep.
And then we were right at it the next morning, but it was just all this will come to make sense at the end of the story.
Yeah.
Just because it was just looking back on it now, it's cool how it all played out for sure.
Yeah.
So then Saturday morning, it was cold out, very cold. And I mean, for me, I was just checking the weather constantly because it was saying snow. And I'm like, okay, that's good. But then all of a sudden at like 8 o'clock-ish, I checked. I have like 4 different weather apps that I check because they're all kind of different and stuff. And one of them said rain. I'm like, man, I really hope it doesn't rain because I got no rain gear. I don't know if Cole does or not, but I'm like, if it rains, that's gonna be brutal. That's gonna be a long, wet day. And so whatever. But we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, early in the morning, I just hear grunting like really loud.
Yeah.
I look out in the field, and sure enough, I see a doe. Right behind her is Brutus,
100% him.
the big guy.
Our number one.
Yeah, and he is just dogging her with 3 other bucks.
And from where you were probably about 100, he about 150 yards away, and I was almost about the exact same distance. And he just was kind of cutting across the field from like the southeast, running northwest.
Yeah,
Just on her. And you could hear him grunting from that far away.
Man,
It was loud.
super loud.
It was loud.
Yeah, and I got a really good look at him. I threw my binos up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Brutus, dude. You could just see his brows, and he's just heavy, big 8-pointer.
Big 8 with big, tall brows.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. Well, he's in the area. Hopefully he works his way back. And then after that, it was pretty slow. honestly. I mean, we saw a couple of those.
It seemed like it was an every couple hours thing.
Yeah.
We saw those at like, it had to been like about 8 o'clock.
Yeah, probably 8-ish.
Yeah, it's like,
maybe a little before.
Yeah. It's like, it's awesome. You hope that you get out there and right when first sight, you're like, oh, there's deer.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't have that, I don't know why, but I am always like, well, wait till that sun starts to hit everything. And for whatever reason, that's like the deer alarm clock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, things start moving. And that's about when it happened.
Yeah.
And then, like Nick's saying, we were looking at the weather and where we were and looking at the radar, looked like the radar, all the northern half of Iowa was just going to get snow all the way across the state.
It's completely blue.
Yeah, it was it was blue all the way across the whole way. And it looked like it was going to be about 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 till like 4.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it was going to be snowy.
Yeah.
And I told you, I said, well, if it rains, it'll probably rain right on the front end as that front's kind of coming through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It'll probably rain and then it'll turn into snow. And it was really nice. 7, 8, 9 o'clock, getting into 10 o'clock was really nice. And then we were kind of calling each other every once in a while. And sure enough, you're like, I felt a raindrop. And I'm like, what? And sure enough, it starts to rain.
Rain.
Yeah, at first it was like really raining.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're not sitting that far apart. We had kind of talked about doing things a couple different ways. We talked about, because we have a couple spots that are really, really good for one spot that's dynamite, 2 spots that are dynamite for a northwest wind.
Yeah.
Single ladder, double on the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Those are dynamite spots for a northwest wind. And then this new spot that we just set up, the flat, that's as good as it can get.
Yeah.
Except for perfect on a northwest wind.
Yeah.
With an ozonics, it feels really good.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's not like as absolutely ironclad as the single ladder and the double on the tongue.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about, I said, well, hey, why don't you just go to the flat or double on the tongue, and then I'll go to the thermal hub, or I'll go somewhere farther away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we kept going round and round and round, one of the tricky things about saddle hunting, or in the way that you're trying to do it, is, and I think a lot of guys are doing this, and I think probably deal with this, is if you're trying to saddle all day, oh man, that can get really hard on your feet. It's just so much pressure on your feet. Mm-hmm. So you see a lot, and you hear a lot of guys that kind of like lean into the tree or have knee pads so they can kind of get the weight off their feet. That doesn't really like work for you as well. You know what I mean? So then we're like, well, if you go to the double on the tongue, it's a double ladder. So you can saddle off of it and shoot from a saddle position if you want.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about your bathmophobia flaring.
Yep.
Just sitting in a double ladder like off the front of it.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go to the flat.
Yeah.
And we're pretty close together, but in the same regard, we're still far enough apart, and we're not going to, ruin it for each other. But we're like, if you see a deer, I definitely won't be able to shoot at it. And if I see a deer, you're not going to be able to shoot at it. Mm-mm. So we'll kind of kill 2 birds with one stone. And if it works out, it'll be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's do that. So like, all right.
Yeah.
So we're sitting pretty close together. I mean, we're like 150, 170 yards away, not very far apart.
It's funny though, because it felt like you're just hunting completely different spots.
Because literally when you looked across towards me, if you could see me, that's barely all that you could see.
I could barely see you.
Yeah. And where I was sitting to look to the west, I could see this whole different perspective that you couldn't even see an inch of.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And so, but again, trying to give context.
Yeah.
So then it gets to be about 10:30 and the rain starts.
Yeah. And Cole would call me and you'd just be like, how you doing?
How you doing? I'm like trying to be
I'm hanging in there.
jokey.
Yeah. I'm hanging in there. Just ate my Lunchable.
Yeah.
But progressively, as the day went on,
it got worse.
It got really bad. I'm so dumb. I brought one pair of gloves and they just got soaked.
Yeah.
And my hands were completely toast, like really bad. And the entire kind of like afternoon, probably like 1, 2 o'clock, I'm sitting there thinking, I don't even know if I can do this. I'm like, I don't know if I can like hold my bow. Like I had my hands covered and they were warm when they're inside, but as soon as I pulled them out, it would just be like instant cold on my hands. And like, there was a couple times some does came in that I was going to shoot and I was holding my bow and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot, I don't know if I can do, like my hands just weren't working very good. I'm like, golly, this is terrible. And the one time Cole called me and he's like, so how you doing? I'm like,
here's what it was. Yeah, this is what
Yeah.
it was. You can always tell when it's not going good for Nick because I call him like, hey, and he's just like this. Nothing, dead quiet. So, how's it going over there? I'm like, okay, not going good.
I'm like,
And the funny thing is, you were having action. Like,
Yeah.
it was every couple hours. Like I said, about 8, we had Brutus and those bucks and,
Yeah.
chasing that doe. And then it was like 9:30, 10. We had a little button buck that decided to show up, and he couldn't make up his mind. He didn't know what was going on.
yeah,
He didn't know if he was supposed to chase his tail or run to the North Pole. He didn't
Yeah.
know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was just all over Tarnation. You almost got drawn on him a couple different times.
yeah,
And then a couple hours go by. Then all of a sudden you have a doe and a fawn that decide they want to come through.
yeah,
And you full draw on them.
yeah. I got the full draw on her.
Yeah. And so, and then again, but there are these, and that's the thing about all day sits. It's feast or famine.
Yeah,
You're either, and the hard thing is it's hard to stay like locked in. That's honestly the biggest thing that I struggle with is I have a hard time I'll do the all day sit, but I have a hard time not like just kind of staring off into la la land
Yeah, exactly.
and getting kind of lost in the lull.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And not staying sharp and ready, you know? And so I kept trying to call you every once in a while and I was completely soaked too.
yeah,
And we had kind of talked about that morning. It's like, hey, dude, listen, if it gets too much, just go back to the truck. If you go back to the truck, 1, you can warm up. 2, you could run into town. You could grab some food, really get warmed up, and then come back out and sit for the afternoon.
yeah,
Well, and of course, if you did that, I was going to give you a little bit of a hard time. You know what I mean? I had planned on yelling some sort of hazing comment from across the way. You know what I mean? So you were bound and determined not to go out.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, at one point he said that. He's like, dude, just go to the truck. He's like,
I'm like, hey, all joking aside, just go to the truck.
yeah. He's like, if it's too much, just go. He's like, just go. And I'm like, are you gonna go back to the truck? He's like, nope. And I said, well, then I'm not. I'm staying. I'm staying then.
And your hands were, I could tell you're like, dude, my hands are froze.
Yeah, my hands were. It was so bad, and it got to the point where I'm like, I really don't know if I'll be able to like do it. Like if something happens. So, anyways, stuck it out. Just got absolutely soaked.
Now it's 1 o'clock. Now it's 2 o'clock.
Yep.
Now it's 3 o'clock. It's about 3 o'clock, and it's raining.
Raining hard.
We're sitting
Real
here.
hard.
We didn't get the snow. We got right on the edge where the warm and the cold made it rain. We got rain.
Yeah.
Just straight down on your head.
Straight down. Wind
Hat completely soaked, dripping off your hat.
Wind was ripping.
Feeling it on soaking through your sweatshirts, through your coat, like starting to soak down the back of your neck. I could feel it at the bottom of where my jacket came to my
Yeah.
bibs. I could feel it on like the top of my underwear.
Yeah.
It was wet.
Yeah.
Looking at my backpack, soaked. Looking at my marsupial with my binos and my rangefinder, completely soaked.
Yep.
Everything was soaked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you could wring it out.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, like the one time I called, or Cole called me. He's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, I feel really good except for my hands. My hands are really, really bad." I'm like, "My gloves are absolutely soaked." He's like, "Well, just take your gloves off and just stuff them in your shirt.
Down like underneath all
and
your
just
layers."
Try and get them just kind of dry." I'm like, "All right, I'll give that a shot." Hang up, instantly just ripping stuff off, and I jam it down there, and I put it down in there, and it's just freezing cold in my chest. I'm like, God, like, this is just horrible. And I'm just trying to stay as warm as possible.
Because if you could tell that like one time I had to pee, right? So you're like, it's like, I saw this on Instagram the other day. It was a saying, all day sits lead to all day.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Or actually all day sits lead to midday.
Yeah.
And you asked me like, well, what about if you have to go? I'm like, oh, you got to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like one time I had to like unzip my bibs and to go to the bathroom, and like you could feel the heat.
Yeah.
I mean, your body is like pumping out the heat. Like, all right, man.
Yeah.
Like you got to stay warm.
Yeah.
So you could feel it, and that's what I was
yeah.
hoping. You get your gloves against your chest, and I've done that before, where you're like, I need to try to dry something out.
Yeah.
And just use it to try to let your body heat radiate through it, and just try to dry it out a bit.
Yeah.
But
So-
they were past that.
Yeah, they were past that because I did that probably at like 3 o'clock maybe, and at like 3:45 I pulled them back out, They were still, it was way better. It was better for sure. And thank God I did that too. And they were still a little bit wet, but I'm like, I'd rather just have the gloves on than just be barehanded. So
Yeah.
So I threw them back on and just was like, okay, this is just how it's gonna be. We're almost done, you know. So yeah, I'm sitting there, and it's just I just kept telling myself like, hey, you really just try and stay focused because it still could happen like really quick any second, you know. So I'm sitting there. All of a sudden I look up, and here comes Skinny Pete, just right down the ridge, walking directly at me.
Yeah, so you're facing the stand that you're in is facing west.
Mm-hmm.
Turkey Ridge is to the west of you and runs south to north, and then about where you are, it turns straight to the west.
To the west, yeah.
And so I'm sitting due to your northwest,
Mm-hmm.
which this turn in the ridge that we're describing would be straight to the north of me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost kind of like at a perpendicular kind of diagonal line from that.
Yeah.
But where he came down, it was just to the crest of the ridge.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough contour that I can't see over there.
Yeah.
But he had to have gone right through my wind because it was
for
blowing
sure
straight out of the north where I was at.
Yeah.
And there's a little creek behind me.
Yeah.
And to the east of me, and then across the field to the east of that is you.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to have walked right through my wind, like directly through my wind, and come straight down that ridge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that was kind of the funny thing throughout the day when it was raining so hard.
We finally, you called me. You're like, "Do you have your ozonics up?" And I had it up there for a bit.
Yeah.
When it was just kind of like at first, and then you called, and I was like, that's when it really started raining hard. I was like, yeah, I better take it down.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah.
That was like a naked feeling. You're like, gosh dang it.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I kept like, okay, can I put it back up yet? Can I put it back up?
Yeah.
And you'd like look down at your arm or something. And I had the creek behind me. So I was like, glance at the creek. Well, you could just see it just.
Yeah.
Like it was dripping. I'm like, and raining on the creek, all these little water spots. I'm like, okay, it's definitely still raining. Well, then about 2:00, it finally just lessened up a little bit.
Yeah, just enough.
I'm like, you know what? Screw it.
Yeah.
I had an extra battery.
Yep.
Pop the extra battery in. I put mine on hyper boost. I'm like, let's do this. I'm gonna just man it up for the rest of the day.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll chalk this up to a precipitation test.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah. And I was the exact same thing. I hung mine up again probably at about 3. But yeah, so now fast forward to 4 again, where we saw him at 4, or where I saw him at 4. He comes directly down the ridge right at me, and at this point, I'm sitting in the double stand, looking west, right at him. And so I'm like, okay, he's walking directly at me. I got to figure out a time here to get up, get turned around in the saddle, grab my bow, get ready to go, you know. And I don't know why I wasn't thinking about this, but I know that there's a creek right there, and it just didn't cross my mind. Like, you would think that right when I saw him, I'm like, okay, just wait till he gets to the creek and then stand up while he's in the creek, because the creek is pretty deep there. And all of a sudden he's walking and he just disappears down low. I'm like, oh my God, he's in the creek. I got to get up like right now. So I stood up, I got my bow, got ready, got kind of faced towards him, and I had been ranging all day. I knew right where a deer would come out. It would be at 40 yards. And he can come to my right, which would be his left, and there's a perfect shooting lane in the saddle. It's money. And I'm like, okay, hopefully he comes out and he just comes right there, because there's a spot where they always kind of cross. And you actually had a deer do that last weekend. Come out there and then just kind of walked through your shooting lane there. Yep. And so I'm like, okay, he's going to do that. He has to do that. And so I'm kind of like favoring to the right, like looking to the right. Well, all of a sudden I see his rack on my side of the creek, but walking due south, so the wrong way. I'm like, okay, so he's going over there. Okay, so this might have to be a longer shot. So like, I knew he was at 40-ish, but then he took like a couple steps into the field. And so I'm like, okay, I need to range him. So I pull my rangefinder out to range him, and just nothing. It was completely fogged up. Couldn't range anything. I'm like, crap, I don't know what I'm going to do here. So we'll just see what happens. Well, luckily, he ends up walking directly to me. So I just rolled my sight to 20. I'm like, he's going to be under 20 for sure. And the shooting lane isn't wide open to where he got to. There's just some branches coming up. And he's getting into that spot where it gets a little bit thick. And there's just one little opening. And by the grace of God, I macked at him, and he stopped right in there. And when I macked at him, I was at full draw. He stopped just perfectly in this little hole. And so I just held it kind of low on his chest, kind of just behind the shoulder. I shot, hit him right where I was aiming, and it kind of sounded like a little bit of a pop, and I knew that it was, forward, and the arrow ripped right through him, and I'm like, I think I just drilled him. I think I absolutely drilled him. And then I saw him kind of loop almost diagonal to me, and then I saw him at the edge of the tongue of the field, and tail was down, and he went into the woods there. And so I was freaking out really bad.
Yeah, that's the understatement of the century.
I was freaking out. I have never reacted like that or shook like that in a stand in my entire life. Nothing. It was a crazy just mix of emotions, and it was just wild. Yeah, like I said, my brain overreacted so much that I just screamed.
You did.
I just screamed. It really bums me out that I did that, because it was just...
That didn't help.
It didn't help, and it just... I didn't even try to. I just like...
Oh, dude, listen. Yeah, it was interesting, because it's just so, from my perspective, I am watching like a hawk, and, I'm facing due kind of northwest. So where you're at is completely behind me.
Yeah.
And so where I'm really concentrating is to the southwest, west, north, northeast.
Yeah.
And if I'm trying to look 100% behind me, I'm moving a lot. And
Yeah.
I'm in the smallest tree possible.
Yeah.
It's like the smallest tree. It's so stupid we're hunting this dumb small tree. That was 100% me. So small tree. So I can't see behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking there when I can, but that's not where I'm focused on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, I just hear, it's funny, my brain first said like a tree branch broke, because I heard like a big pop. And I was like, whoa, that's weird. Like a stick would break like that. And then within a split second, I was like, no, he shot something. So I quick rip around as fast as I can. Right as I'm turning, I hear a woo! It was like a Ric Flair. It wasn't a woohoo. It was a woo, like loud and long.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that, and I was super upset with myself for doing that.
I think, but in your defense, it's years of all this coming to a culmination. And like you said, I have no room to talk. There's been times when usually when I see it like hit the ground, then I just come absolutely unglued, and I have screamed to high heaven.
Yeah.
Where everybody within a 3-mile radius is like, oh, that guy just shot something.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is you had just shot. I mean, it was like I heard the whop, the pop, and then you woo.
Yeah.
And he couldn't have been hardly off the field yet.
Yeah.
And so I think he was then as much running from the noise as he was as the fact that he just got shot. Now he kind of was like, at first he's like, I don't know what just happened. I need to run away. But now he's like, oh, I just got shot and the noise came from there.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of take that into account as we move forward. And when you called me, and then I had to be kind of discerning on like, because you were like, I hit it right where I was aiming. You know what I mean? And when you yelled like that, I was like, man, he just must have smoked it.
Yeah.
So it was like trying to kind of figure it all out.
Yeah. And I really, and again too, like I normally never react like that, and I'm super embarrassed by it, because it's just like, we respect these deer so dang much, and like to have a moment like that happen is just like just an absolute blessing. And I felt like what I did was completely wrong, and I hated it. I'm so mad that I did that. But anyways, I thought that I made a really good shot. Like my initial reaction was 10 ring. I just right in the pocket, just perfect. It felt so good. The way he reacted, I thought was pretty good. He took off like a bat out of heck. And then when I last saw him, he wasn't walking or anything. He just had his tail down, and he just got into the woods. I'm like, man, he just acted like I really drilled him, hit him really, really good.
Yep.
And so we had to act kind of quick because it was raining pretty good and there was snow coming. It felt like,
Well, like you could look at your phone and see that we were sticking right at that, like 33 degrees, 32, 33, 34, 32. It was like right at that. Every once in a while, like I said, it was about 4 o'clock. Every once in a while, it would start to spit snow a little bit, but it was just so wet.
Yeah.
And so, you call me and, the hysteria of like, oh my gosh. And it's like, okay, like, let me get down. Let me get over there. So, and that's when it kind of caught up to me. I was like, oh crap, man. Like we are super, super soaked.
Yeah.
Like I didn't, and me, I walk in with like as little on as I have to try to stay cool, try to keep my gear, as unscented up as I can, just to try to not sweat. And I didn't take a thing off. I didn't take any of my hoods off. I had everything on.
Yeah.
I got out of the stand and I'm like, whoa, I am soaked. My gloves, I could barely get them on because they were so wet. I was trying to keep my hand warmers going, I was like, geez, I am really soaked.
Yeah.
So I kind of make a big roundabout over to you because I didn't 100% know what was going on. You're like, oh, he ran to the south. So I'm like, okay. So I get over to you, you get down. And to give a little context, like you said, Nick was facing, the tree stand faces the west, but he's saddle standing, so he's facing east.
Yeah.
So when he saw the deer, he was sitting down, looking to the west. The deer comes down the ridge. Sounds like it came down pretty fast, like just he was cruising through.
Yeah.
Just like that I saw him, he was just cruising, and he didn't, or like, feels like when he kind of gets his mind made up, he's going.
Yeah.
So he comes cruising down the ridge. He gets into the creek, which is like a 4 or 5 foot drop off, and back up the other side. So as soon as he goes down there, he used to quick stand up. Well, he comes out of that, and he was just a little bit, not straight west of you, just a due north a little bit, like a tick. So when he came out, it's like, okay, is he just, when we had talked, because I had shot in a button buck, or no, a doe out of that stand with Jetty a couple weeks or whatever weekend before. Doe came out right there, did the same thing. She walked straight across the field right at me, and then she turned, standing in the stand looking west, she turned to my right, which would be to the north, and came by broadside. I macked at her, she wouldn't stop. She came behind me, and I shot her behind us, and made a good shot, and she ran off and died. Well, he kind of did the same thing, except when he came straight at you, instead of going to the north, he turned like he kind of wanted to go south and come like literally almost like right by.
Yeah.
But the trick of it is you're saddle standing facing east, looking behind you like this, basically.
Yeah. If I sat in my saddle like normal, and when he, like, say he just walked by, like a normal deer just walked by, and I was sitting in my saddle normal, where I ended up shooting him could not have been more directly
it was
behind me.
Yeah, it was completely on the definition of your offhand.
Yes.
Where you wanted to try to shoot was in the same place where that doe went, turn to the north or to a little bit, if you're looking to the west, to the right, and came by broadside, which would just be a shot right off your left shoulder.
Yep.
Well, instead of doing that, it was a shot off of the middle of your back.
Exactly.
So, if you were facing if 12 o'clock was east,
yes,
it was at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Yep.
No, if it was 12 o'clock, it was at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
6 o'clock. It was way all the way around. So you're having to really crank around in a really weird position.
Yeah.
And putting a lot of tension on everything holding you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and there is, like I said, when you're sitting in that stand, there's a big opening right there, but he was like off to the left of that.
Off to the left of it.
Yeah, very right up against it. So there's like a tree right there, and he was right up against that tree. And so, like I said, when I got over to you, seeing where the stand was, I'm like, okay. And again, my mind goes straight to like the guiding mindset. I'm like, okay, think objectively here, like kind of try to take yourself out of it. What actually happened? So I'm like, that's where he was. Where was the deer? And you're like, and we found your arrow. I'm like, okay, let's look at the arrow. Well, right away when we pick up the arrow has got good red blood. And on the vein, the one vein had like poop all over it. Yep. Right. And so, and right away before that, I'm like, okay, what was it? And you said it was quartering to me. Well, that makes sense because it came across and walked and wanted to go to the east. I was like, okay, well, how quartering to? How quartering to? And you're like, well, it was right behind the shoulder. I'm like, but how quartering to? And you were like, well, if this is broadside and this is facing you, it was like, well, let's do this. This is broadside and this is facing, this is his head. He was here, right? So he was quartering 2.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't broadside. He wasn't facing you. He was quartering 2.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. And then I'm like, okay, well, do you remember if his leg was forward or back? And you're like, man, I thought it was forward. It's crazy how, like, in the heat of the moment, like, some of the details, like, your brain just kind of, like, forgets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The instincts of it all take over.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's quartering 2. It's got good blood on the arrow, but there's poop on the arrow. So then instantly I was like, well, it feels like it was like a single lung, liver, diaphragm, guts.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe at worst, liver, diaphragm, guts.
Yeah.
You know, because you could see the red blood. You know what I mean? Because if it was just a gut shot, quartering 2 would have just been guts all the way, no red blood.
Yeah.
And you heard that real big pop,
Yeah.
which in my experience means you hit that diaphragm. After the diaphragm's in the middle and it's keeping the pressure within their chest cavity, and you popped that. I mean, you could hear it clear as day. I was like, okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's kind of a different noise if you hit it right behind the shoulder. It's just that thwack. You know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't like a boom, like you hit it in the guts.
Yeah.
It was that pop noise, you know? So it's like, okay, good. So we start trying to trail. And again, it's raining. Then it's starting to sleet, snow. And it's like, gosh darn. And right away you're like, what do you think? I'm like, man, I think we should go a little ways and see what we see for blood. And then we'll just decide, you know what I mean? And I was looking ahead quite a bit, like, you know, and like I couldn't see him up there. You know what I mean? I was like, we would see the deer. It's clear enough to be able to see, like, okay, where'd he go? Okay, he went over there to the corner and he looked like he was going to the creek. Okay, well, he probably tried to cross or whatever. He went down in there. So we start going across the field, and it wasn't like it was laying the red carpet. It wasn't like buckets of blood on the ground where it's just like you could just go blood, but it wasn't sparse either.
No.
I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, we could go, oh, there's blood, there's blood, and it had already started to kind of wash away.
Yeah, it really
And so
did.
that we kind of felt like that was the ticking time bomb. I was like, gosh, and it's going to get dark here soon. I'm looking at my clock now. It's like 4:30, 4:40. And I'm like, gosh, dang it. Like, let's just go a little farther. So we are just tiptoeing, and you can walk quiet as I'll get out and we kind of had the wind because it was northwest and he ran east.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just go a little farther.
Yeah.
We get to the creek, and you could see where he stopped before the creek, and there's 2 piles of blood. I'm like, okay, that's good. He's bleeding out both sides, you know? You could see where he got down in the creek, and then he got back up the other side. When we got around to the other side, he stopped again. And I said right away, I'm like, dude, he is hurting unit, you know? And I'm like, my mind kept then also saying liver hit, you know what I mean? Liver hit. And again, like on a liver hit, you would generally, if you know it's a liver hit, just back out and give it some time. But with the rain and everything like it was, it didn't feel like we had that option.
It felt like if we would have backed out when we did, the next morning would have been a legitimate needle in a haystack.
We just didn't have enough information.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it was like, and again, like, I didn't want to push to bump him, but I wanted to push far enough that we got the information that we needed, because at that point, at that creek, it was like, geez, which way he was going to go?
Yeah.
And in my mind, I would have said, well, he's either going to go down this bottom, or gosh, you wouldn't think he's going to try to go back up.
Yeah.
You know, well, here, come find out. As we find blood, he goes back up. So then I was like, oh crap, he's going back up, you know?
Yeah.
But again, then he gets up a little ways, stops,
Yeah.
blood. Well, now he's only bleeding out one side.
Yeah.
And so I had made the comment, I said, gosh, I almost wonder if, and I've had this happen to me before, if you shoot him like a quartering 2 and it goes out, or even on a quartering away, the in or the out where it's by the guts, the guts will like push out and plug it.
Yeah.
And that's really looked like what had happened.
Yeah.
And so I was like, golly, it's like, now it's only bleeding out one side here, you know? And so we didn't go but 10 yards after that. And I had just made a comment to you. I'm like, dude, I smell something. Like, you smell that? Like, do you smell that? And it was weird. You could just smell like that gutty deer smell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'm like, maybe we should just back out of here. Like, let's just kind of assess what we're doing right now, you know?
Yeah.
And it wasn't but 10 seconds after that, and boom, he stands up. And instantly it's like, oh, crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I didn't want to have happen, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, crap. But you could tell the minute we saw him, he was in rough shape.
Yeah.
Rough shape. You know, I made the comment to you because again, we watched him get up, or we saw him. We didn't see him get up. We just saw him up, and he tried to run away, and he was in rough shape.
Yeah.
And tail down, it took him everything he could get to kind of run probably about 60, 70 yards, and he stopped.
Yeah.
And we kind of knelt down, and I instantly grabbed your binos, and I'm just looking like, okay, let's try to establish like where he is. What are the landmarks? How can we get back to this tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know? And I know that I was trying to be real lucky because I knew you were reeling.
Yeah.
Which I would have been too. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard to think rationally in like these irrational moments, right?
Yeah.
And so he walks off and he looks rough.
Yeah.
He never looked back. He had his head low to the ground, which again, liver, you know? And so I made the comment, I said, dude, you got to remember, like, he knows he's injured. He knows there's a predator, us, pursuing him, and that's all that he could muster.
Yeah.
Was like 80, 60, 70, 80 yards and stopped. That's all he had in him. That's all he could do. And so it's like, he is not in good shape. I'm like, okay, we are 100% officially backing out. There's no need to do anything more. Kind of wish we wouldn't have bumped him, but it's nice that we got the information because we really would have been looking for a needle in a haystack with the rain coming down. Now it was officially snowing. Snowing hard, but it was a wet snow, so it was washing everything away even more. I was like, ugh. But I'm like, okay, we know where he was last. We know where we're going to start. You know what I mean? And so then we backed out of there and had to go back to the tree stand, grab all of our gear, made a big roundabout to get out of there so we didn't mess him up and got out of there. And that's a crummy feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a crummy feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and you want to say, we'll find him tomorrow, but you just don't know.
No.
There's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a long night.
And I had kind of made a comment from the very get-go, like when we got back to the truck, I'm like, I really felt like, especially seeing how in rough shape he was, I'm like, you know, we find him. It's really, you know, I kept saying where and when, you know, where are we going to find him and when are we going to find him?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think we'll find him.
Yeah.
It's just where are we going to find him? When are we going to find him? I'm like, I felt like, and again, it was 30 degrees when we drove away. It was temps were dropping. It was supposed to get down to like 21 degrees.
Yeah.
Real windy. I'm like, it's not conducive for him to make it through the night. He's gonna bed down, and then a liver hit through that diaphragm like it is. It's gonna do it. It's gonna take its toll. He just needs some time.
Yeah.
And I was looking when we saw him. It was like 450, 452, something like that.
Yeah.
He actually ran right by the co-op camera at 450 actually.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 450, 452. It was 450 on that camera. And so I'm like, I'm looking at my clock going, okay, 5 o'clock. If we gave him 5 hours, 6 hours for a liver hit, okay, that's like, you know, that's 10, 11, 12. You know, do we just go in here? Do we come back in here in the middle of the night when it's dark and it's still weather going on? Or do we just wait till the morning? I'm like, let's just wait till the morning.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I'm like, where do we find him? When do we find him? My bet was, does he make it through the night? No. And I told you, hopefully the coyotes don't get to him. Hopefully the coyotes don't do something.
Yeah.
I'm like, hopefully he just dies of natural causes, and hopefully the coyotes don't get to him before that or get to him before we can get to him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I felt like we were up against.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty cool. You got to... The silver lining of it was it was you're calling buddies, calling your mom and dad, you know, calling everybody that you're excited to talk to them about it with. And your cousin Benny and your cousin Charlie, they were like, give us an hour.
Yeah.
They're 3 hours away. So they rally, get some gear, and they jump in the car and they drive into the night to get down to Iowa, you know, from Wisconsin. And so, and I was like, and right away I'm like, okay, if they aren't going to come, I'll find people to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, I'll call Justin. We'll make some calls. We'll get a search crew. You know what I mean? Of what we need to get to try to find this deer. But with Charlie and Benny there, it's like, I think with Charlie, Benny, you and me, 4 people, that's plenty.
Yeah.
That's all we need. Just jump in at any time.
Yeah.
So, Long night, I said this before the podcast started. I got home and it was like it, whatever time it was in the evening, because now the time change, it gets dark earlier, but still by the time you get home, and then it was like everything was soaked. Okay. How do we get all this stuff dry?
Yeah.
So you're drying everything. That takes time, unloading stuff. And then I finally sat down in the chair and I turned on a college football game, flipped on the TV. And I remember thinking, man, that is going to be a long night for that deer.
Yeah.
Like, gosh, I just hope. I'm like, are we making the right decision by not going in there? I'm like, I feel like we are. I'm like, but there is a chance that. I'm like, I just hope that he doesn't have to suffer. I'm like, gosh darn. I'm like, I'm like sleeping in this nice warm house, in my nice warm bed, and he's out there just like fighting for his life. I'm like, gosh dang.
Yeah.
It's just an odd feeling,
Oh, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
I just remember I'm so happy that Charlie and Benny came down, because it just helped me out mentally so much. Because like before they got there, I was just sitting in my living room, TV off, lights on, just sitting in my chair. I'm just like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Yeah.
I felt so guilty, weird, wasn't sure about everything that I did, and just like you just inherently beat yourself up kind of.
Yeah.
And it was getting to me so bad, and it really helped to have Charlie and Benny there, because like you just have somebody else there, and it was a very long night, and it was horrible.
Well, and like after it happened, and I knew you were kind of like, it's like the highs and lows, right?
Yeah.
It's the peaks and valleys, and like obviously it's the peak of shooting it, and then it's you're like, woo, super excited, and then all of a sudden you start to come down that hill towards the valley, and then you don't find it right away, and you're like, whoa, and then you start rethinking everything and what really happened, and and like, and me, I'm pretty just straight to the point, so I'm like, I think it was a quartering to. I think his leg was back, not forward.
Yeah.
I think that with that leg back on a quartering to, he's actually, you got to kind of hit more forward than you think. And so I think you just got one lung, if anything.
Yeah.
Liver, diaphragm, guts. Like, I don't think you didn't get a ton of good stuff, but you got enough good stuff that a liver hit, it's like you see in boxing when a guy gets hit in the liver, it just takes him right down. It's just they say it's incredibly painful. I'm like, that's what we need to bank on.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked a lot about that as we were driving back. And I was trying to, it's like, listen, dude, it's a tough thing. It's like, if you want to slam dunk, shoot a rifle.
Yeah.
Or a crossbow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Seriously.
It's like bow hunting. There's just so much that can happen. And I think what we talked about in the truck was, it's like, do you take the shot that you're given, or do you wait to have him give you the shot?
Right.
And that's such a tricky thing.
Yeah.
I think, and that's such a fine line to try to kind of tiptoe through, because sometimes I think people just go, well, that's the only shot I had. It's like, well, the only shot you had was in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
You know what I mean? Like that probably wasn't the right shot. You know what I mean? So in that situation, you probably should have waited for it to give you the shot rather than just take the shot that you were given.
Yeah.
And I think in your mind, and I would have done the exact same thing. Like, you're like, I can kill this deer in this position.
Yeah.
And I know where I need to hold. I know where I need to hold it so I can make a vital shot. But again, the minute that you let the arrow go, it's not like we were filming it. We can't slow it down in 120 and watch him duck frame by frame and see his shoulder, like the way maybe his leg was forward. And then, and when you shot, he pulled it back, they do so many things.
Yeah.
It's your arrow's not going 2,000 feet per second.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a lot of variable as that arrow travels through the air, and just who knows? So it's like, so it's always a tricky thing. It's like, do you take the shot, that you're given, or do you wait to get the, like whatever, you know what I mean? It's just it's such a hard thing.
Yeah.
And there has been situations where, like, I'm like, oh, do I take shot I'm given, or do I wait for them to give me the right shot? And there's times that, and you've heard me, man, yeah, dude, that deer just came in. It was facing me the whole time, and I just can't do that, or I just don't feel good about that. I didn't feel good. And that doe that I shot, that was a severely quartering to shot, but I knew where I could put it. I had an opening, and I felt really good. I'm like, less than 20 yards. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to totally 10 ring this thing.
Yeah.
And so it's just such a tricky thing. And I think, again, like when you don't find it right away, you instantly start second guessing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, should have I have done that? Like, do you think we're going to find it? What happens? Has this happened to you before?
Mm-hmm.
And it just, everything starts to just kind of like unravel.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it needs to unravel, but it just does.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you're saying, your TV could have been playing static.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Yeah. Exactly.
You had a movie playing out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
You know? So yeah, it's just it's a really, really tricky thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, I think what you did was just fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, for sure.
And so fast forward, Benny, Charlie get down there. The next morning, I'm like, let's just get out there bright and early.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was the perfect day to be sitting in a tree
It
stand.
really was. Yeah.
It was like cold, man. It's
Cold, pretty calm. Well, calm in the morning.
Yeah.
It picked up wind later on,
yeah.
but
But I was like, I don't care. We got to find this deer. So Nick's like, I don't want to jinx anything. So we didn't bring anything necessary.
no bad juju.
No bad juju. Can't bring a knife. Can't bring the cart. Couldn't bring the backpack. Just all I had on was my sweatshirt and a Carhartt vest.
Yeah.
So we go back to where we were. I had marked it. I had taken a couple pictures before we walked out of there that night before to kind of know where the trees were. Like, because I remember being like, oh, it's right through that dead pine tree. And so we went to where I stood where I was. They walked around to where the deer was where we last saw it. And that gave us a starting point.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, like, my experience when you go in the next day, there's like, I joked after the fact is like, sometimes I feel like that initial push when you look for an animal, it's like a sparkler. It burns really hot, really fast, and then it goes out.
Yeah.
And the reality sets in pretty quickly that you're like, oh crap. Like, okay, this is getting real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where is it? What do we do?
Yeah.
And what I suggested that we do is, I thought, okay, guys, we're right on the corner of this ridge. So he looked like he was walking away to the northwest. Let's walk this ridge out, and then let's just kind of walk around, turn the corner of the ridge, and then walk it to the west just a little bit, and let's just see what we come up with. If we don't come up with anything, then let's rally back to where we started, and let's start gridding it off. We all got Onyx. We've got a track going, so we'll be able to see. Let's put each other 20 yards apart where you can still see each other really, really well, and take all the time you need, zigzag, look behind every tree, down tree stump, every little contour, every clump of brush. Don't assume anything. And so that's what we did. We just took it really slow, zigzagging all about 20 yards apart, walked it probably about 100 some yards ahead, got to the corner of the ridge, nowhere to be found. It's like, dang it. Okay. So I was at the top, you were at the bottom. We had Charlie and Benny between us. Let's just have you guys kind of bring the corner around. We'll get in a straight line again. And then let's just zigzag forward to the west. And let's just keep moving. You know, we had kind of talked about, like, if I was a betting man, I would think he would want to stay on this top.
Yeah.
Not go down the ridge. He would want to just stay where it's nice and easy and it's thick cover in here and just bed down in here. I'm like, I really thought, if he's going to be here, it's going to be right here on this top somewhere.
Yeah.
And so you guys had come around that corner. We started going, it hadn't even been 100 yards.
No, not even close.
I think on the honest, I looked, it was like 68 yards from when we turned that corner.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Well, it was, I don't know. It was crazy. I was bringing obviously the bottom of the line around. And so Benny was just a little bit in front of me. I hadn't even really gotten to where I was in line with him again. And I just see a big old grin on his face, and he's just pointing down there. And I'm like, do you got him? I'm talking real quiet. And he's like, he's down there. And I'm like, we were just talking really quiet because, like, I was just trying not to, like, freak out or anything.
Well, here come find out. Benny saw it.
Yeah,
Benny's he didn't want to say anything.
Benny's like, man, I saw it for a long time. He's like, but I just wasn't sure, and he didn't have any binos on him or nothing. So he's like, I saw it. I thought it was him, but I just wanted to get closer before I said anything. I didn't want to get everybody excited, but he got close enough, and there he was. And, yeah, it was crazy because my track, I started right where we kind of all spread out and stuff, and it was 15 minutes exactly from where we started to when we were standing over the deer, and I stopped at 15 minutes on the dot.
Yeah, that is about as good as it can get right there.
Yeah, it was quick.
But most you can hope for.
Yep. So instantly super excited. Call Cole right away. I think Cole kind of thought that we were just calling. We found blood at the bottom or something.
Yeah, so I saw your phone, when I saw your number on my phone, I picked it up. I was like, oh, they found blood.
Yeah.
Like, hello, and you're like, we got him.
Yeah. Yep.
Whisper yelling.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to not make a ton of noise, so we're just trying to all
Yeah.
so it's like, oh, just call me if you see anything.
Yeah. And so yeah, super excited right away, but pretty soon it got very bittersweet. Unfortunately, the coyotes did get to him before us.
Yep.
Rear end was pretty bad.
Completely gone.
It was just a heavy feeling. It just, I don't know, it was really weird. Something I've never felt before. Like, I was so overjoyed, but at the same time, it just like, crap.
Yeah.
It just was really, really difficult for me. I expected find them be hugging and high fiving and going
feeling.
crazy and stuff, but it just like, my body just wouldn't allow any of that. It was just like, dang it.
Yeah.
It just was really, really bittersweet, and it just affected me really weird. And
Well, yeah,
just sucked.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because, like, of course, we hustle down the hill,
Mm-hmm.
and there he is, and right away, like, you could see obviously his back end was completely gone. Like, you could see his hip bones, and
Yeah.
and I mean, it was really torn up on the back half, and so right away, I'm like, oh yeah, Kyle's definitely got him.
Yeah.
And then, you and Benny were already kind of been standing there,
Yeah.
and you could tell you were both just kind of like, you were both a little shell shocked.
Yeah.
And it's, again, I could see it in your eyes. You're like, you're excited that you found it. There's a sense of relief, and then there's a sense of like sadness, and you're just like really looking at the deer. And so I'm looking at it, but then I start kind of looking around, and my mind is, I was like, okay, for my first, I was like, okay, was he dead or did they kill him? And they definitely killed him. He was dying, but they made him do it the hard way. So here, come find out, you could see there was a 20-foot like death ring. I mean, it was like, you could tell he had put up a fight kind of 10, 15 feet to the left of where he was laying. And then there was a bunch of hair like 5-10 feet away from that. And then he had dirt and blood like on the tips of his horns. So he had to have been like trying to shoo him off, like while he was standing, and you could see it was tons of leaves and everything, the dirt, everything was all over the place. Yeah, it kind of felt like a crime scene. And then as we really started to look at it and kind of walk it back, and how are we gonna get this deer out of here? Come to find out, he was bedded on the top.
Yeah, we found a bunch of blood down the ridge.
Yeah, so he was bedded on the top. It was a north wind during the night. So all I could figure is those coyotes probably came down the edge of that field, winded him. Whoop, that's not right. That smells like a deer. That smells like a wounded deer. There's blood in the air, and they moved in. Well, they bumped him, or tried to get on him, and he didn't want to move. And you could see the struggle as they went down the ridge. There was blood, and leaves were all moved away. And then he still got like another 30, 40 yards. And then finally he got to a spot that was like, all right, this is the hill I die on. And that was that was the hill. And so, yeah, it was really a bizarre feeling. Like you said, we had this conversation before this weeks ago about bow hunting. And I've heard people say this, and it kind of makes me cringe because I just feel like there's so much more to it than this. But then also, you can really boil it down to this statement, which I hate and like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
People will say, well, that's just bow hunting. It's like, oh, golly. That's a true statement, but it also can feel like an excuse, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But with that said, it is bow hunting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot packed into what I just said.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And I know I just like contradicted myself like 6 times along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is that when we're out there, whether it's a bow or a gun or anything else, we are a predator.
Mm-hmm.
And we are trying to kill the animal. You know, we've had a lot of discussion, you and I have, about hunters and killers. And I hope that I never just turn into a killer.
Right.
Right? That's not what I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Killers, I feel like, don't care as much about the hunt.
Yeah.
They just want to kill something.
Yeah.
I want to go here and kill this. I want to go here and kill that. I want to go kill this.
Yeah.
They're not talking about like the hunt.
Yeah.
About the adventure.
Yeah.
They just want to kill things.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want it to be about the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but part of the hunt is killing.
Right.
And the reality is that it's not always perfect.
Yeah.
We had talked about before that I think that when you look at all the predators that are out in the woods, we probably kill things the most humanely.
Yeah.
The fastest.
Mm-hmm.
The most efficient.
Yeah.
Right? I had talked about with you, man, you ever seen a coyote take down a deer? They don't take it down nice.
Right.
They yip, they howl, they get all their buddies, and they take them down. Mm-hmm. Every single deer that we see out here, you know, they not all die at the hands, but they die most of them die at the hands of a predator.
Mm-hmm.
Die from old age, they get weak, they get sick, they get hurt, and they get taken down.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And the fact that, and that's why I like you so much, man, because you're not just a killer.
Mm-hmm.
You're a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were a killer, you and I would not hunt together. I'll tell you that for free.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets me all a little bit fired up. I can feel it. I can feel like the hotness coming over me, right? Because it makes me angry when people are just killers.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Makes me want to swear right now. I'm not going to swear on the podcast, but it makes me want to start swearing.
Yeah.
You're a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't always go perfectly.
Right.
And that did not go perfectly.
Mm-mm. Yeah, nowhere near perfect,
Nope.
really.
And so, but we had talked about this on Saturday night, driving out. The other thing I said, we talked about, do you take the shot that you're given or do you wait till it gives you the perfect shot? The other part about this is the hunt is not over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes when you take the shot that you're given, right, you're to the part of the hunt, probably like after the shot, after that part of the hunt is the most critical. You follow me? Because now it's like, hey, dude, we still need to keep hunting, right? We still got to keep hunting. We got to now the part of the hunt is we need to assess and figure out the blood trail, where are we going, and then how are we going to recover that animal? That's a part of the hunt too.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not just killing.
Yeah.
It's all the prep in the off season, the trail cameras, everything that we're doing, thinking about where we're setting stands, where do we have stands set, shooting your bow, all this stuff, all the gear. Should I get the Sitka Fanatic set? Oh, do I do this? Where do we put stands?
Yeah.
And then it's actually starting to actually go hunting.
Yeah.
Where do we hunt? How do we hunt? When do we hunt? And then really the killing part is just such a small part of it. Even in this situation, dude, think about that. Doing an all-day set, sitting in the rain, absolutely butt-ass soaking wet. I mean, we were soaking wet, dude.
Yeah.
Soaking wet.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of trying to have you talk you off the ledge. I'm like, dude, just stick it out. Like, but I also wanted it to be your decision, right? Like and like when you call me one time, like, are you walking out? I'm like, nope. You're like, well, then I'm not either. You know, you're like, and I don't care if this is stupid, and I don't care if I've had 7 lows already today. I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm not leaving. You know, it's like you're a wolf on Wall Street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You weren't leaving. And that was all part of the hunt. The killing, how long from when you saw that deer to when you took the shot?
Yeah, we were talking about this before we started here, and I would say maybe 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah, it was very quick.
Yeah. So it's just so much more than just the kill. And so it's like, I'm like, man, dude, we just got to keep hunting.
Yeah.
And that hunt, the rest of the hunt is finding the blood, figuring out how we're going to recover the deer.
Yeah.
And again, when we recovered it, like I said, yeah, it really sucked that those coyotes did what they did. can't blame it on them, man. They're just going to do what they do.
Right.
They're a predator just like we are.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny because, like, if the coyote could talk, they might look at us and be like, yeah, well, we kill because we're trying to eat. Those antlers, you can keep them.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, we don't want the antlers. What are we going to do with them?
Yeah.
Chew on them for a toy? Like, we don't want the antlers.
Yeah.
When you find a dead head, what's the last thing you find? You find the head, the dead head. That's it.
Right.
You know, I've even seen coyotes will literally bite the nose and through their skull and eat the brain.
Yeah.
Still leave the horns.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but anyway, so yeah, like I said, it was a bittersweet feeling.
Yeah.
And like you said, you felt bad.
Yeah.
You know, you felt bad. You're
Yeah.
just like, man, bro, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
And then even for me, I was like, gosh darn, should we have come in here during the night? I'm like, gosh, did we make the wrong choice? Like, I don't know. Like, but with the way it was so wet, and I really felt like we're putting ourselves at a disadvantage with trying to walk around in the pitch dark. I'm like, we get to the next morning, we get a couple more people here. We can, you know, the cold of the night and everything, you know, and like I said, I was just hoping that they just wouldn't find him.
Yeah.
But they found him.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, there is still salvageable meat on that deer for sure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for
Like
sure.
I said, his back end is completely gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you said, kind of up, like his back end and like kind of up towards his backstrap, you could tell that on his other side that, you know, the coyotes had been biting at him. You could see where they had taken big tufts of hair out as they were trying to take him down. And you probably don't want to touch any of that.
Yeah.
But his front shoulders, the front half of his back straps, all that's really good.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then when we ended up, and we said, we got some awesome pictures. And like you said, it was a crazy feeling. Like it was kind of bizarre even too. Like there was that big log right there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I looked around and we're all just sitting down
Yeah.
and we're all just like looking at him and not talking.
Yeah.
But it was like this whole conversation kind of playing out without anybody saying anything.
Yeah. Just sitting there.
We're just sitting there. It's just like, and you're like, you know, and I think you finally said, I'm like, we got him.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man, we got him. And I'm like, it's not always perfect. It's not always perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, this is maybe a really crazy analogy, but bow hunting is kind of like baseball. Do pitchers sometimes throw the perfect game? Do they sometimes throw a no-hitter? Yeah. How many of those happen? Very few and far between.
Yeah.
There's balls and strikes and base hits and double plays, and there's ups and downs. There's failures and successes the whole way through the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But eventually, you got to have one more run batted in than the other team.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you look at the score, but did you win or did you lose? Like, there's just, you know what I'm saying? There's so much that can happen on a hunt, and this was like just a perfect example of that. When we got it all done, got him tagged up, that was actually a funny thing.
Yeah, that was so weird. You could tell my brain wasn't in it.
Yeah. So yeah, Nick was definitely reeling. And so I'm like, you know, as we're kind of like assessing it and looking at it, you know, we took a couple pictures like of the view of like everything. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, let's get this thing tagged, you know what I mean? Before we move it, do any pictures or anything like that.
Before we move it at all.
Yeah, get it all tagged up right. So I'm like, get out your tag. So he gets out his tag. He's just like, he goes, Iowa, either sex.
No, I said
Iowa
Iowa statewide antlerless. And Cole and Ben are like, whoa. I'm like, and I look up, I go, I don't know why I even said that because I'm literally holding my buck tag right now.
He's like, gets all his, he's like, ooh, okay. And he's flipping through him. He's like, there's that is. And he holds out, he goes, Iowa statewide antlerless. And Benny and I are like, whoa. I'm like, and you were like getting right now. I was like, what? No, hold on. I was like, whoa, hold on. Wait. I was like, antlerless. And it freaked me out because you were reading it.
Yeah. And I looked down. I'm like, I don't know why I just said antlerless. It's literally my statewide deer tag.
I'm like, let me verify. This is the statewide deer tag, not an antlers tag. So we made sure we tagged it with the right one.
Yeah, that was funny.
But we got some awesome pictures.
Yeah, really good pictures.
The boys were there. We took some. Pictures turned out awesome. I was really happy with
Cole
that.
did a really good job taking pics.
And then when we gutted it all out, it was kind of what we thought. less lung. It was definitely liver, diaphragm, guts.
Yeah.
When we got to the vitals, the heart and the lungs were completely intact.
Mm-hmm.
So that leg must have been back.
Yeah.
And the way it looked from where the shot went in and shot went out, it looked like it was like kind of like middle
Yeah.
with a down angle. And then on the right side where it came out, it did end up pushing some intestines out that exit hole and
Yeah.
kind of plugged it.
Yeah.
And so liver shot through, diaphragm shot through, gut shot through.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was a hurting unit.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really believe if the coyotes wouldn't have bumped him, we would have just found him right there,
Yeah.
laying there,
Yeah. For
dead.
Sure. For sure.
I just think he didn't get that chance. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of coyotes out there.
Yeah.
I mean, how often times do we go, we get them on camera, we hear them yipping and howling. You know, that's the tricky part about that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. That's like that a lot of places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I've had that experience myself. I shot a doe with my recurve years and years ago. My friend shot a doe too. We went and recovered his. I went back to mine half hour after I shot it, and coyotes had already gotten on it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, so it's just bizarre.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, aside from kind of the down stuff and whatnot, it was still just a insanely awesome, very special weekend.
Oh yeah.
It was just it was like we were talking, like, this is a really huge moment in my life, honestly, because I wanted it so bad. I got it. It's been a long time since I've shot one. To get that first one in Iowa, have obviously you there and Benny and Charlie, it was just a super cool day. I mean, yeah, it was kind of a bummer how we found them, but
It's part of it.
it's part of it. We still had a great time. And yeah, honestly, my favorite part was bringing and showing your kids.
Oh,
They were freaking out.
We should put that video in here.
Yeah, it
Oh
was
my gosh.
so funny.
Rushy.
Oh.
And well, Rushy was funny, but it's fun. What was really, I think, super special was Jet,
Yeah, he was.
because he knew.
Yeah, yeah,
He knew.
yeah.
It was funny to see him too, because you get to a point where you've already, like, what am I trying to say? Jet hasn't killed a buck yet.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to kill a buck so bad.
Yeah,
And you're either in that club or you're not.
yeah,
And when you're not in that buck club, you have a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell when he looked at that deer,
Mm-hmm.
he was looking at it with that perspective of, like, that's a big one.
yeah,
I mean, he didn't, if you asked him what the score was, he wouldn't even know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah,
He just looked at that and goes, wow, counted up the points. It was
Yeah.
an 8-pointer. Look at how wide it is.
yeah. Just
Look at his head.
yeah.
He was just blown away by that.
Just his eyes too. They're just like bowling balls. Just it was really, really. That was a very cool moment.
Yeah.
And then of course Rush. It was so funny.
Oh my goodness, he's so funny. He's just like,
Just freaking out.
oh yeah.
It was great.
And then he was like touching its forehead, and he was like kneading the hair with his
Yeah,
fingers.
he
Like,
just was just touching.
yeah, it was like just like a nervous energy of like, I'm touching a deer, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, no, it was really cool. And like I said, like I said way at the beginning, I kind of put some parameters this whole time. I was like, I really want to help you get a deer,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want it to be like one of these little guys. Like, let's
Yeah.
get you a respectable deer.
Yeah.
And everybody, that may mean something different to everybody.
Yeah.
I kind of joked there was a buck that you probably would have shot if you walked by that I was calling no fly zone.
Mm-hmm.
You had named him. What'd you name him?
Dirty Steve.
Dirty Steve. I don't like that name. We're calling him no fly zone. So hopefully someday he'll be fly zone, because right now he's
Oh,
just
he will be for sure.
he's like what is he? He's like an
8-pointer.
8-pointer that's like kind of high.
He's just high and tight with tiny little brow tines.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was calling him no fly zone. I'm like, dude, you can't shoot that buck. And like, No Name was walking around, but I'm like, gosh, I'd like to see you shoot one bigger than No Name. And then Skinny Pete felt like it was like that's like the
perfect deer.
perfect deer.
And it's funny too, if you guys are weekly listeners, a couple of weeks ago, Cole asked me, what deer would you want to shoot?
Yeah.
And I said Skinny Pete.
Yeah.
So that made it just cool full circle thing. And then, okay, a very long time ago, I said this whole part is interesting about Cole bumping him the day before, and that, it'll all make sense later on. It was just interesting because where Cole bumped him and where he ran into was the exact spot that he ran out of
Yeah.
when he came to me in the exact spot that he went into after we bumped him. So it was just kind of cool that, like, that's clearly where he was.
That's where he wanted to be.
And then now, for the first time all year, Brutus walks through that and is on that camera right where Skinny Pete was all year. And it's just crazy to me.
That happened on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Brutus lock down, absolutely running that doe like they were trying to run a half marathon, grunting across the field on Saturday morning.
Yep.
And I said to you on Sunday afternoon, all this got done on Sunday. We go out for breakfast or lunch, Culver's, kind of celebrating, show the kids. We're looking at the pictures. And I said, I'm like, gosh, if we get 24, 48 hours after we saw him dogging that doe locked on her,
Yeah.
he's going to be through, and man, maybe he'll be cruising again.
Yeah.
This is Monday now. On Sunday night at 12 something and then 1 something, there's Brutus on cameras we have not seen him on in the void of Skinny Pete being where he would be.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now there's Brutus.
Feels like he moved in, kind of.
Man, I hope so.
We'll see.
Golly.
We'll see.
So, yeah, so that is definitely on our minds now.
Yeah.
And like you said, Brutus, we had watched him on camera down at the river throughout the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this is just a complete coincidence. Got him on camera again on a red moon, just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Again.
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 So now we're going to be coming off that red moon. Tomorrow's the last day of the red moon, so maybe that's not great, but whatever.
Yeah.
But like I said at the beginning, this feels like the time of year.
Yeah.
You just got to get out there.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting out there and you're like, gosh, it can't be November 10th. I can't believe how slow it is. It's only slow in what you can see. It's such a small sample size.
Mm-hmm.
Right around the corner, just over the ridge, a half mile, quarter mile, 150 yards down, there could be a doe in heat and a buck bumping her along or locked down on her, and all of a sudden she just decides to get up, or he gets kicked off and he goes, you know what? I'm going to go that way. And you're right in it.
Yeah.
You're right in the action.
Yeah.
So moral of the story, man, get out there.
Yeah.
Get out there.
Yep.
And like you said, it's interesting. Even when looking at Skinny Pete, he had a gouge.
Right
like,
on the top of his head.
Yeah, like an antler gouge right in between his brows,
Mm-hmm.
where it was clearly he had gotten poked
Mm-hmm.
in a fight.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
It's
And as
crazy.
much as he was around, that was his spot.
That was his area.
Well, now it's vacant, and all of a sudden, just like that,
Brutus is in there.
there's Brutus.
Yep.
So,
It's wild.
yeah, well, it'll be really interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to get really interesting.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, man.
Moral story, dude, I am really, really happy for you, man.
Yeah,
it
thank
couldn't
you.
happen to a better guy.
Thank you.
I was hoping that you could, like I said, it's weird for me even because like I still want to hunt really, really hard.
Yeah.
But in the same regard, I'm like, my two goals were Jet a buck and you a buck.
Mm-hmm.
So we got half that done.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still going to try to, we're going to get after Brutus.
Yeah.
But I feel a major sense of relief that you got
Mm-hmm.
one. That's a huge load off.
Yeah. Yeah. It was awesome. I mean, that's my biggest buck ever. First one in Iowa. First one since I started kind of filming and doing this full time. So it was just a really special moment for me. And literally none of it would have been possible without you because, number one, you pushed me to stay on Saturday.
Because if you would have walked out,
I would have probably went and sat on a totally different spot.
yeah, you probably would have gone to the river. That's what we talked about. Like, well, if you end up going out, maybe just take your bike, go back, and then rally down to the river. Maybe that'd be the spot to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously just helped me with everything throughout the year and, hunting together. It's been awesome. And I can't thank you enough for everything, man.
Yeah,
really.
no problem, man.
So it's good stuff. And guess what? We're only not even halfway through November yet.
Because what is today, November 10th?
10th.
Yeah, it's November 10th. We talked about the 1 through 10, 10 through 20, 20 through 30.
Yep.
So now we're getting to this 10 through 20. And we said this on last week's episode. By the time this next episode's coming around, they're going to be locked down. And we're definitely in that now.
Yeah.
We're definitely in that. They are, there's so much that's out there about the rut and there's so much speculation. even we do it, right? We're trying to figure it out and forecast, and what does this mean? And are we here? Are we there?
Yeah.
You know, the reality is that the does need to be bred, and the does are going to come into their estrus somewhere in the first part of November.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Like, for whatever reason, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I'm not a part of the studies. I don't know. Like, but they come in, right?
Yeah.
And when they come in, the bucks 100% locked down, and it can feel like everything just stops.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when you're sitting there thinking it's boring, an absolute air horn blows off in your ear, and 30 seconds later, you just killed Skinny Pete.
Yeah, seriously.
So, you know, you just like, all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, did I just fill my tag? You know,
yeah.
like it can happen that quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, even me out this morning, there was a renewed sense of like, I was on my game. I wasn't dozing off. I wasn't like, oh, I'll pull out my phone. I was like looking in every direction, because it can happen at any moment.
Yeah.
You just got to get out there.
Yeah.
There's no built-in excuses. Figure out a time to get out there.
Yeah.
You know, you're standing at the craps table. The more times you can roll those dice, the more opportunity you're going to have to win.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to try to get yourself that opportunity. And even if that only means that you only got PTO on a Thursday, Friday, or you can only hunt on the weekends, like, that is what it is. Get out there. If you can put in those all-day sits, just try to figure out a way to keep your feet warm, keep your hands warm. The rest of your body will follow.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You know? And like I said, man, it's so funny too, because like I was getting such a kick out of you. I almost had to slap you though when we were at Culver's, because you made that comment. You go, man, I don't know. Honestly, it's kind of, you know, I don't even know how you said it. You're like, I'm a little bummed. You know, I mean, I was pretty excited for like all these all day sits. You know, I had some PTO schedule. I was pretty excited about just getting out there.
Well, it is.
I'm looking at you like, what are you talking about?
Well, no, it was just like the fact that like going into last Friday where I had my first day of PTO all week I was like, I get to hunt Friday, man. It's going to be super fun. Like, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm still going to hunt. I still got doe tags. But, you know, it's just a different kind of mindset going into like, oh man, is he going to walk by today? But, no, yeah, I understand what that would be kind of cocky. But,
no.
Because I did take a good handful of days in November, but
no, dude, I understand what you were trying to say. Yeah. I'm just razzing you. No, like I said, it was one of those things where there is a sense of, I mean, like I've been there. You definitely feel a sense of relief.
Yeah,
a weight lifted off. You know, just a different. You know, it's a different feeling. Yeah. And like I said, there's still does to be killed. We've got some doe tags that we'd like to fill. So like I said, hope you can still get out there.
Yeah, for sure. No, I will be out there for sure.
Yeah, and so like you said, it'll be interesting to see. But most likely, just because this is how this works, I can tell you from experience, when you have doe tags only, a monster's going to walk by.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fully.
Be prepared to have Brutus stand there at 15 yards and going, hey, what's up? Yeah, hey, I heard you already tagged out. Yeah, what are you going to do? See this hoof? I only got 2 of them, but you know what I'm trying to give you right now, right? It's called the bird.
Yeah. No, I'm fully...
And he's not going to put his tail up. He's just going to walk away all cocky like, hey, tell Cole that I stopped by. What are you going to do? Nothing. Yeah, that's right. You don't have a tag. Yeah. See you later.
I know. I'm like mentally preparing myself for that moment because it's gonna happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen. Yeah. You're gonna see Brutus. World Traveler will show back up. Gas will all of a sudden be Diesel. We're gonna start calling him Diesel. He's gonna be even bigger.
Yeah.
Who knows what you'll see? That's how that'll go.
Yeah. No
I
doubt.
have been there, done that. Golly.
Yep.
That is a surefire way. I've gone so far during some deer seasons when the rut gets real tough that I'll tell my wife Tatum that I'm just going to go squirrel hunting. Seriously, sometimes that's the ticket. Because last time I checked, every time I go deer hunting, I see nothing but squirrels. Yeah, exactly. If you go out there to go squirrel, you can't see a squirrel. You're going to see every deer in the woods.
Yep.
So sometimes you got to do a little flipperoo, a little switcheroo.
Yep.
But yeah, best way to see a big buck, fill your tag. That's the best way to see a big buck. And Johnny Mega Giant's going to walk by when you don't have a deer tag.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, that was it's really really good. Like I said, we got there's still a bunch of good hunting to go. Like I said, we get in this 10 to 20 day window, and like I said, you've heard me say this. I love November in the teens.
It's coming, man.
And honestly, like I love what we saw on camera yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We see Brutus, we see him grunting away and carrying on with the doe, and then all of a sudden he gets kicked off.
Yeah.
And as the days keep ticking by, this peak of that kind of peak of the bell curve of the does being bred, we're going to start coming down the other side. And those bucks are still going to be revved up, and they can be a little reckless.
Yeah.
You know, they can be a little, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Put themselves in compromising positions.
Right.
And so I think as we, you know, it could feel real tough here for a bit, but then it can get really good.
Yep.
And so those November in the teens can be dynamite. And there's just a lot of hunting left.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, like I said, from my perspective, my motto between now and as we go is just going to be just finding seat time and just as much of it as you can. And even when it's that lull, you just never know.
Yeah, exactly.
You may not see a deer in any direction. And you go, how can that be? I'm looking at all this ground. I can't see a deer. And then you turn to your left and there he is.
Yep.
That's how quickly it can happen.
Yep.
And so, like you said, it doesn't matter, rain or shine, cloudy, windy, snowy, I don't care. Saturday, with all the way that was going, I mean, we had even talked middle of the day. You're like, oh man, I just wish we were seeing a little bit more action. You're like, oh, it's like you just never know.
Yeah.
I mean, it, you know, it's just so crazy that it happened like that.
Yeah.
Pouring rain, soaking wet, sitting out there all day, a little bit of action, not that much action, not what you thought it was going to be, and then all of a sudden there he is, and you're at full draw and letting her fly.
Yeah.
It's just so awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I honestly think it's really encouraging. You know what I mean? For anybody.
Yeah. No,
you know, because like you said, sometimes I think that's and again, I don't mean to stand on my soapbox when I say this, but you know, like we live in this day and age of social media where, like I said, there's killing and hunting. But a lot of times what we see on social is just the killing.
Right.
You know? And I think some people, they see that and they're like, man, look at that 180-inch buck just walked right by. You know what I mean? Like, man. And it's just so hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, some people do make it look so easy. You know what I mean? But like you said, there's just so much to it to try to get a whitetail in front of you and to get an arrow through him.
Yep.
You know, and so I'm really glad it worked out for you.
Yeah, me too. It was awesome, man.
Yep. Super awesome. All right. Well, I think we wrap it up.
Yep.
Hey, this is a big episode. This is getting to be a big episode.
Yeah, it's a
There's
lot.
There's a lot here.
Kind of figured it would be kind of long, but
yeah, heck yeah.
This is our first buck kill episode ever.
There you go.
It's awesome.
I'll tell you what, and for the record, you've had a big couple days. So you shot that button buck on Friday, shoot the Big Johnson on Saturday. You've had a good couple days.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Had a good weekend.
That was a great weekend.
I mean, you might have to rethink your favorite day of the year.
Yeah, maybe.
If it was only November 6th and the 7th, that would have been, we could have taken this episode to the next level.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the 7th, 8th, right? 8th, 9th.
8th, 9th.
8th,
No.
8,
well,
9,
really,
8, 9.
Well, really 7, 8, 9.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. We can't do anything cool with that. I don't know what the saying means, but everybody goes 6, 7, 6, 7. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to another episode of Ozonics Killerwinds podcast. Congratulations, Nick, on a great buck. That's awesome. Stay tuned. More coming. Get out there. Shoot something.
Be safe. See you next week.
Stay classy.